The journey to 1,000 acres is more than a mission. It's a transformative journey for farmers who join us. Accepted applicants to our core program gain exclusive access to our online courses, Living Soils Mastery, Plant Power Essentials, and From Seed to Sales. These courses are designed to empower you with regenerative farming knowledge and business skills. Experience hands-on learning with our Farm Sprint Workshop, where your practical skills are improved. Then begin your journey with our Sustainable Input Starter Package, equipping you to immediately apply your new knowledge. And last but not least, take advantage of the opportunity to win free soil testing, offering you a detailed chemical and biological analysis to optimize your farm's health. But most importantly, share your farming story with the world. Celebrate your path towards a regenerative organic future, inspiring others and gaining support. Join the journey to 1,000 acres, empower yourself, nourish your community, and lead the way in sustainable agriculture. Visit reddiamondcompost.com/thejourney and start your transformative journey today. The journey to 1,000 acres is more than a mission. It's a transformative journey for farmers who join us. Accepted applicants to our core program gain exclusive access to our online courses, Living Soils Mastery, Plant Power Essentials, and From Seed to Sales. These courses are designed to empower you with regenerative farming knowledge and business skills. Experience hands-on learning with our Farm Sprint Workshop, where your practical skills are improved. Then begin your journey with our Sustainable Input Starter Package, equipping you to immediately apply your new knowledge. And last but not least, take advantage of the opportunity to win free soil testing, offering you a detailed chemical and biological analysis to optimize your farm's health. But most importantly, share your farming story with the world. Celebrate your path towards a regenerative organic future, inspiring others and gaining support. Join the journey to 1,000 acres, empower yourself, nourish your community, and lead the way in sustainable agriculture. Visit reddiamondcompost.com/thejourney and start your transformative journey today. The journey to 1,000 acres is more than a mission. It's a transformative journey for farmers who join us. Accepted applicants to our core program gain exclusive access to our online courses, Living Soils Mastery, Plant Power Essentials, and From Seed to Sales. These courses are designed to empower you with regenerative farming knowledge and business skills. Experience hands-on learning with our Farm Sprint Workshop, where your practical skills are improved. Then begin your journey with our Sustainable Input Starter Package, equipping you to immediately apply your new knowledge. And last but not least, take advantage of the opportunity to win free soil testing, offering you a detailed chemical and biological analysis to optimize your farm's health. But most importantly, share your farming story with the world. Celebrate your path towards a regenerative organic future, inspiring others and gaining support. Join the journey to 1,000 acres, empower yourself, nourish your community, and lead the way in sustainable agriculture. Visit reddiamondcompost.com/thejourney and start your transformative journey today. The journey to 1,000 acres is more than a mission. It's a transformative journey for farmers who join us. Accepted applicants to our core program gain exclusive access to our online courses, Living Soils Mastery, Plant Power Essentials, and From Seed to Sales. These courses are designed to empower you with regenerative farming knowledge and business skills. Experience hands-on learning with our Farm Sprint Workshop, where your practical skills are improved. Then begin your journey with our Sustainable Input Starter Package, equipping you to immediately apply your new knowledge. And last but not least, take advantage of the opportunity to win free soil testing, offering you a detailed chemical and biological analysis to optimize your farm's health. But most importantly, share your farming story with the world. Celebrate your path towards a regenerative organic future, inspiring others and gaining support. Join the journey to 1,000 acres, empower yourself, nourish your community, and lead the way in sustainable agriculture. Visit reddiamondcompost.com/the journey and start your transformative journey today. The journey to 1,000 acres is more than a mission. It's a transformative journey for farmers who join us. Accepted applicants to our core program gain exclusive access to our online courses, Living Soils Mastery, Plant Power Essentials, and From Seed to Sales. These courses are designed to empower you with regenerative farming knowledge and business skills. Experience hands-on learning with our Farm Sprint Workshop, where your practical skills are improved. Then begin your journey with our Sustainable Input Starter Package, equipping you to immediately apply your new knowledge. And last but not least, take advantage of the opportunity to win free soil testing, offering you a detailed chemical and biological analysis to optimize your farm's health. But most importantly, share your farming story with the world. Celebrate your path towards a regenerative organic future, inspiring others and gaining support. Join the journey to 1,000 acres, empower yourself, nourish your community, and lead the way in sustainable agriculture. Visit reddiamondcompost.com/the journey and start your transformative journey today. The journey to 1,000 acres is more than a mission. It's a transformative journey for farmers who join us. Accepted applicants to our core program gain exclusive access to our online courses, Living Soils Mastery, Plant Power Essentials, and From Seed to Sales. These courses are designed to empower you with regenerative farming knowledge and business skills. Experience hands-on learning with our Farm Sprint workshop, where your practical skills are improved. Then begin your journey with our Sustainable Input Starter Package, equipping you to immediately apply your new knowledge. And last but not least, take advantage of the opportunity to win free soil testing, offering you a detailed chemical and biological analysis to optimize your farm's health. But most importantly, share your farming story with the world. Celebrate your path towards a regenerative organic future, inspiring others and gaining support. Join the journey to 1,000 acres, empower yourself, nourish your community, and lead the way in sustainable agriculture. Visit reddiamondcompost.com/thejourney and start your transformative journey today. The journey to 1,000 acres is more than a mission. It's a transformative journey for farmers who join us. Accepted applicants to our core program gain exclusive access to our online courses, Living Soils Mastery, Plant Power Essentials, and From Seed to Sales. These courses are designed to empower you with regenerative farming knowledge and business skills. Experience hands-on learning with our Farm Sprint workshop, where your practical skills are improved. Then begin your journey with our Sustainable Input Starter Package, equipping you to immediately apply your new knowledge. And last but not least, take advantage of the opportunity to win free soil testing, offering you a detailed chemical and biological analysis to optimize your farm's health.
Okay, so testing our audio again. Just checking, make sure everyone can hear me. Okay, so we should be good now to get started. Just had a few technical difficulties. Okay, great. So let's jump right in because we're already a few minutes late. And hello and welcome again to everyone to the Journey to 1,000 Acres info session. And we're just going to be bringing to you the ins and outs of the Journey to 1,000 Acres initiative put on by Red Diamond Compost Inc. and supported by the Barbados Barbados Environmental Conservation Trust, BECT. My name is Joshua Ford. I'm the founder and CEO of Red Diamond Compost Inc. And the key goal and focus of the Journey to 1,000 Acres initiative has been about being able to bridge the knowledge gap that we notice exists when it comes to understanding the soil, understanding how our foods are grown in a way that is going to help you to bring continued yield increase and continued fertility to the soil time and time again using regenerative practices as opposed to the conventional methods of farming using toxic synthetic chemicals. And we all know too well the different negative effects and impacts that these can have on us and on our environment. So we thought it important while we were working for quite some time to host this initiative and, dealing with a number of different delays and setbacks. We're finally at a point now where we're ready to start, we're ready to launch and kick off. And we're coming to you to bring a bit more information and bring a bit more insight into what the initiative is, how it works, and be able to answer and field out any of your questions, any questions or concerns or queries that you may have. So let's get into the presentation today. So Journey to 1,000 Acres, Growing Resilience, Building Community, and Regenerating the Earth. And this essentially sums up, in a nutshell, what the initiative is all about. But a big question arises as to why something like this is even necessary. Why do we need it? Why does it matter? Now, when we look at it, all of us, are dealing with some of the same issues. And we're dealing with this in Barbados, we're dealing with this across the Caribbean and across the region as a whole. Food imports are a huge issue. The situation where we are not in charge of our own food and food supply and we're dependent on sources outside to feed us. And sometimes the question is a question of the quality of that food that we're getting from outside. And while this is the status quo, at the same time the cost of living is continuing to increase. As small island developing states, we often have to deal with the shocks that impact the world as a whole. So dealing with the war in Russia and Ukraine, or dealing with the fertilizer shortages that may be affecting various large countries who are already fighting for resources. As a small island developing state, it is a lot more difficult for us to be able to get our hands on these resources. So we're dealing with, continuation of food imports coming in. We're dealing with a higher cost of living. We have to stretch every dollar even further. And then at the same time, we're dealing with climate instability. Climate change is something that's real, it's something that's affecting us day by day, season by season. And anyone who's out in the field growing crops, growing food, knows all too well the different damaging effects that this can have. And then one of the things that we hear, anytime we're out in the field, we're talking to farmers, we're talking to people in the agriculture sector, the lack of support for small and local farmers is a recurring pain point. So after the last decade of me, going out into the field and meeting persons and who are dealing with all these issues and challenges and living some of these experiences myself, I came to the point where it was a necessity for us to get the Journey to 1,000 Acres initiative off the ground and moving. And when we look at what the philosophy is, what is guiding everything that we do, it's all about how do we create not only food sovereignty, where we're able to and be in control of the food that we're producing, but at the same time, we're doing it in a way that is moving beyond sustainable. We're doing it in a way that is going to bring a high nutritional quality, a high nutritional density and richness to not only ourselves, but who else is consuming our food. So these are some of the things that we focus on. Primarily, one of the key areas that we saw was focusing on the soil, building healthy soil, focusing on the nutrient density of the soil, the biodiversity, the beneficial microorganisms in the soil. When we focus on that particular area, we are able to have this compounding effect that positively impacts us in so many different ways. But that's just one aspect of the Journey to 1,000 Acres initiative when we're talking about building healthy soil to produce nutrient-rich foods. The other aspect of it that, all too well we notice is a recurring factor is understanding how to not only, you may have the desire to grow organically, but you don't necessarily understand how plants utilize nutrients and how they cycle and where to find them, especially if you're using organic practices and regenerative practices. So it's a big component of the Journey to 1,000 Acres initiative. And in addition to this, the business component is something that we decided to include as well. And the reason for that is you're going to have a situation where persons who, whether you're farming commercially, or you're a home gardener, backyard farmer, and interested in you know, scaling up, doing more commercial activities, or even, you know, potentially staying at the same size, but, you know, being able to earn some additional revenue from what you're producing it by selling it to, you know, friends and neighbors. So with that, we noticed that there's a certain idea when it comes to organics and or farming in general, and financial management and business, you know, how to navigate that whole process. So this is something that we decided to include in the program, so you kind of have a full package at your disposal. So the Journey to 1,000 Acres is essentially a national initiative. We're starting here in Barbados, and you know, we've been blessed to have persons from other Caribbean islands and other countries on the other side of the world who've actually heard about it and are interested in having a program like this in their own country. And you know, it's a testament to the necessity of an initiative like this. What we're seeking to do is convert 1,000 acres of land in Barbados, is where we started, into regeneratively managed land. So you may have barren land, it may be in bush, or you might have a conventional farm setup. So, you know, you're doing regular farming practices, but you want to move it to something that is more sustainable, something that is more productive, and something that you can have to build on for the next 15, 20, 30, 40 years. So this is why we see regenerative organic practices as the best solution when we're looking at how to manage the land and how to manage it productively and move beyond sustainability. And who is the Journey to 1,000 Acres initiative for? If you're a backyard gardener, someone who is interested in gardening commercially or scaling up to farming commercially, this would be for you. Young persons, especially going into the world of agriculture, this would be a program for you. Any person who is an aspiring agripreneur, so you don't necessarily just want to do farming, but you're interested in other aspects of agriculture, creating value-added products, or even going into the food space in terms of food, value-added food products that might be selling on a supermarket shelf. This initiative would give you that holistic view and a full sound understanding end to end. We're going from the soil to the dinner table. Farmers especially, whether you are now interested in getting into farming, as I mentioned, or you've been farming for, you know, years prior, could be farming for 10 years, but you feel that you're missing something, you want to improve your practices, you want to be more sustainable, you want to improve the quality of the end product that you're growing, the Journey to 1,000 Acres initiative would be for you. So this is how we break it down. We have a series of online courses and workshops and in-person workshops. So Living Soils Mastery is where we first look at how to build healthy soil, how to improve the nutritional quality of the soil, understanding the role of soil microbes and how important they are, understanding the impact that using synthetic chemicals, whether that be pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, or even chemical fertilizers, what impact those products have on the soil. Understand how to rehabilitate your soil and actually transition from a chemical state into a biodiverse biological state. And you understand the benefits of all these different things as we go into the program. And it is not to say that this is one of those programs that are for persons looking for hardcore organic farming, and we might be shunning persons that use chemicals. Not at all. Um, this is a place and a space where we can have discussion, have conversation on these topics to get a better understanding. So you may be a person who is currently using some of these chemicals I mentioned, but you need to improve your sustainability of your practices. You need to improve the quality of the end product that you take into market to be more competitive. And we would be able to help guide you along this path, help you understand even how to uh, get your soil to bounce back after using some of these chemicals, and then get you on a program to transition without a decline in your profits, which is usually the biggest concern. And that's why we have the business component as part of the program as well. So then we move from looking at the soil microorganisms, understanding how they work in that full cycle, to plant power essentials. Understanding how plants actually utilize and consume nutrients is critical. And we notice that in talking to many growers, they don't necessarily understand how the products that they're applying to the soil actually work. And, this causes them to not be able to maximize or optimize the output and the yield of their soil. Not understanding the soil storage bank when we're talking about fertility and long-term fertility, and why from one season to the next you might be seeing huge fluctuations in yield and the overall health of the crops, which is important. Right now we are dealing with part of the climate crisis and the rising intense temperatures that is affecting the fields and the crops. We see a prevalence now of diseases, these different bacteria, viruses, and fungi that may be coming to infect crops and wipe out entire fields. So with Living Soils Mastery paired with Plant Power Essentials, you would be equipped to know how to treat to these different types of issues. You would have a better understanding of what is actually happening in your own soil, and be able to come up with a strategy and a plan to correct it and get it on the right path. So again, Journey to 1,000 Acres is something that's focused on persons interested in farming and farming commercially. So we needed to have that business component there, from seeds to sales. So when we talk about financial management, sales strategy, how to actually market the produce that you're growing. Oftentimes, farmers might be taking the produce, trying to go to the general markets to sell it, or planting 10 acres in a crop, 3 acres, 1 acre in a crop, but they have nowhere to sell it. And they're now looking for buyers. We're going to be focusing on all the different avenues and strategies of how to prevent yourself from being in a situation where you have, 1,000, 2,000 pounds of any particular crop and nowhere to sell it. How to be able to manage your farm business strategically for long-term growth, and to be able to scale it. One of the key things that when we look at creating successful farmers is that it has to be a situation where the farm business is bankable, is investable. And this is something that we'll be highlighting here from seed to sales. Next, we have the Farm Sprint Workshop. Now, this is something that would be completely new to most people. This is a 3-day intensive workshop to optimize farm management. So we will be dealing here with the actual practices on the farm, how you do your planting, how you do your weeding, how you do your harvesting, your post-harvest management, how you're going to actually move on the farm, how you're going to plan all these activities before you even get in the field. This is what the Farm Sprint Workshop is about, and in reality, it's like an intensive boot camp to get you prepared for that, commercial side of things, and to do it efficiently and effectively. We don't want a case where persons are spending 2 hours to plant out 1 or 2 beds of any particular crop. You're gonna understand the work ethic that's required to get the results that you're gonna want to see on your bottom line. So how Journey to 1,000 Acres works is that the same courses and programs are just include. You're gonna have a blend of online live sessions. We would have 1 to 2 modules happening starting from April 8th. And after every live session, partners will then be loaded to the Redengo website where all the students will have their login credentials to be able to go in and access the recordings after each session. So the live sessions are going to be a mix of not just being presented to or lectured to, but it's going to be fully engaging, where you can ask questions and area concerns and talk about some experiences that you may have been dealing with that very day. What we're going to be doing is having practical activities after each session that you're going to have to come and show us what you actually learned. You're going to actually be implementing what you learned during the live session, and you're going to be following up with you. You're going to be checking in week to week and even a couple months after to see how you're doing, how you're progressing, and to ensure that you're actually able to implement the knowledge and information that you learn. It makes no sense taking in all the information about soil diversity, about how plants different nutrients, the business and management side, if the practical implementation isn't good. So we're going to be with you along the way. We're going to have different guest speakers and experienced persons from session to session to share their inputs, to share their experiences with you as well. Then for the in-person workshop, which is specifically the Farm Sprint Workshop, that's going to be running from the period of April to June. So we're going to have the 3-day workshop that is going to be focusing on the actual practices that you'll be implementing, all the different aspects of farm management. And then following that, we would be doing visits with you or check-ins with you to see how you are progressing and how you're able to actually implement the practices that you learn. It's going to be an intensive boot camp. So the reality is you're not necessarily going to be able to take in every single aspect that we'll be covering in that boot camp itself, but it will be a process of kind of taking you through that information so you have a basic understanding of what's needed and what's required. And that's where we're going to have your follow-ups and check-ins with you, even if it's a case where we need to visit your farm or your setup and provide some additional support or advice. We'll be able to do that. We would have online sessions as well throughout the period to June, where you can always be able to get in touch with us and engage and get any help or additional support that's needed. So then when we look at what we wanted to actually offer persons for participating in the program and making it all the way through, thanks to the BECT, Barbados Environmental Conservation Trust, we're going to be able to give the participants of the program, the core participants that register and sign up for the program, a starter package which would include one of our Red Diamond liquid sunshine organic plant food and our Supreme C organic biostimulant. And we're hoping to be able to include some other pretty helpful tools and pieces of equipment to help persons to get going on the path that is regenerative and organic. So really and truly, when you look at it, we're going to be giving you the knowledge. We're going to have the online courses and sessions. We're going to have the in-person workshop, and we're going to have the starter package available to you. You'll have access to the recordings after the sessions, and it's all free of cost thanks to the BECT, making this possible for you to sign up and register and be able to access these resources, access the support, and to be able to get that starter package and start a really generative journey. Now, to register to sign up, you can head on over to reddiamondcompost.com/the journey, and you will see the sign up form. If you're on our Instagram, you hit the link, you will see the tab there for you to sign up for the journey to 1,000 acres. This is something where we want to really be able to support the participants who sign up. You can register for yourself and as an individual, or you can sign up someone who may not have the means to register themselves, because it's all an online process. So if you know someone that this program can benefit, feel free to talk to them about it. You can send them the link, reddiamondcompost.com/the journey. You can get them signed up. You can sign up yourself, and prepare for a very involved, interactive, fun initiative and program that we're going to be building out in Barbados, starting in Barbados and expanding this, hopefully throughout the region and the rest of the world. So the next steps for us on the journey to 1,000 acres is looking at our official launch event. So if you are a registered participant of the journey to 1,000 acres, once you register, we're going to review that application form. It's just some key details that we're going to be asking for, so we know where you are along your farming journey, along this path of regenerative organic farming, and that would help us tailor some of the content we'll be delivering to you, or to be able to check in with you along the way, depending on what your specific needs may be. So once you're fully registered, you would be invited to attend our official launch event, which is going to be next Thursday, April 3rd at 3 p.m. You'll be sent the details on the location and everything associated with that. Following that, the next day is when we will finally close off the registration. So if you register after or on the 3rd, you would not be able to attend our launch event, unfortunately, but we still want to give you that opportunity to the end of the week, Friday, to be able to register and attend to participate in this exciting program. And then from there, throughout the month of April all the way down to September, it's going to be the courses, the online sessions, the in-person workshops, and the follow-up process as well, where we are able to guide you, teach you, and learn from you as well, and be able to provide the support that's necessary to get you off started on your regenerative journey of farming. And what we really want to see is persons really participating and engaging in a way that we kind of never seen before in agriculture, and especially say in Barbados in particular. This initiative or goal that we set to have 1,000 acres of land in Barbados under regenerative organic cultivation is a huge one, and it's one that is something that is inspiring to us to be able to achieve it, and it's something that we continue to strive for, and we want to see each and every one of you come out and participate and encourage others to participate. A big part of it is being able to change the stigma or status quo when it comes to agriculture and how we do agriculture, and how it is tied into all aspects of our life, of our health, the food that we eat each and every single day, and the greater importance that needs to be placed on it, and the greater support that's needed for it is only going to be possible with you, with your engagement, with your support. And we thank each and every one of you for being able to engage with us. Again, reddiamondcompost.com/the journey to sign up and register for the Journey to 1000 Acres initiative. And right now, we're going to take any questions that you may have. You can put them in the chat. Any particular questions you have about the initiative, about the program, about what to expect. If there's anything that we missed that you want to know, you can put your question in the chat. We can answer it now. You can always email us at hello@reddiamondcompost.com if anything else comes to mind, along this week into next week. And we would also always get back to you very swiftly. We want to encourage persons to also go to our website, reddiamondcompost.com/the journey, and you'll see on there a crop guide. And this is something that we set up to be able to provide persons with a foundation knowledge base when it comes to specific crops that they may be interested in growing. Our crops guide right now has 12 crops, a mixture of fruit and crops, root crops, and herbs. And it's something that we want to build out and expand. And we want to be able to provide support for persons, not only from the guide itself, but with having how-to videos of how to actually grow all these different types of crops. Okay, so we have a question here. Good evening, and thanks for the session. Thank you for attending, Dr. John. Your question is, do we have any part dealing with pest management? Most definitely, both within the Living Soils Mastery and the Farm Sprint Workshop, you're going to be dealing with pest management. And so you're going to understand from the Living Soils Mastery online course, you're going to understand what type of inputs you can use and how to use them, how they work, why they may be effective in one instance and ineffective in another. So we go through the ins and outs of that. In the Farm Sprint Workshop, you're going to be doing some practical aspects of pest management in terms of detecting pests, understanding when to take certain actions, preventative measures, and what to do when you have, some intense issues. So the next part is the reason behind my question is, having tried this in another Caribbean island, I found that because the soil was free of all chemicals, it also vastly increased pests. Because we could not use chemicals, they wiped out crops. Will your program help us to address this? Most definitely. A key aspect of the program, and when we look at the regenerative organic farming as a whole, oftentimes we tend to focus specifically on the crop, specifically in the field where we're farming that crop. But what we're actually being able to teach you and train persons in is how to manage their environment as a whole. It's one system, is one ecosystem, and understanding how one thing interacts with another is very, very important and a critical component of the Journey to 1000 Acres initiative in totality. So at every step along the way, when we're doing Living Soils, when we're doing Plant Power Essentials, and the Farm Sprint Workshop, we're going to be covering these topics, and you're going to have a lot of the information repeating, and that's so it's not only so it will stick in your head, but it's just a fact that the information is all related to one another and interactive with one another. So understanding how to actually manage the growing environment, the actual space where you're farming, and not just specifically treating to the crop. And again, understanding biological controls and different types of products and inputs that you can use that would be in line with organic practices and regenerative practices. We're going to cover those as well. And again, we want to thank you all for attending this Journey to 1000 Acres info session. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're still going to be here for a while. And we just want to thank you all for participating. We want to thank you all for supporting. We want to thank the Red Diamond team, the Barbados Environmental Conservation Trust team, and Happily Farm, which is the actual location where we're going to be doing most of the farm sprint workshop. So we have another question here. Can you explain the 1000 acres? Definitely. So how we're counting or quantifying this 1000 acres is by you, the participants that are involved. So when you go to reddiamondcompost.com/journey and you're filling out that sign up form, you see we're going to be asking for a certain information in terms of if you're currently already farming or growing, and the size of the area that you are farming in or that you're going to be dedicating to the regenerative organic practices. It is a collective effort is how we're quantifying the 1000 acres. So all of the participants to the program, and this is why the follow-up is very, very important for us. And we're going to have it set a certain distance from the final, learning components of the program, because we want to follow up with you and see that you're actually successfully implementing the practices and information and knowledge, being able to apply what we've learned, and that we can, truly count you as part of the 1000 acres that's being regeneratively farmed. So that's a collective effort of all the participants who sign on to the Journey to 1000 Acres initiative that make up that 1000 acres. So it's something that, starting out, and we're going to continue to build it out year by year to achieve that target. And once we achieve it, we're going to, again, push it further and reach for a higher target yet again. So don't forget it, reddiamondcompost.com/the journey to be able to sign up for the Journey to 1000 Acres initiative. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll be able to answer your questions. Still here for another few minutes. Anything that pops up, but again, just for me to emphasize, the reason or need for this particular initiative. When we look at agriculture, especially here in Barbados, and we know, those of us who have been working in the organic space and pushing organic farming and agriculture, know all too well some of the stigma that comes with it, some of the stereotypes, I should say, that people like to tag on to organic farming. We know the difficulty and the struggle, and it is a very real thing, being able to produce food without using toxic synthetic chemicals in this world that we live in today. The way it's set up and structured is no easy feat. This is why even for us at Red Diamond, being able to increase the supply of the resources that's needed, not only in terms of products, but knowledge and information that's needed to successfully grow in a regenerative organic environment, is a big part of our mission and our goal. When it comes to the chemicals that are used on food, all in the name of whether it's wiping out pests or achieving a greater yield of crops. On the flip side of it, what we're seeing in many studies that are being done, even right here at home in Barbados, is that there's a residual effect of these chemicals. Now, we've known this for quite some time. We've known about it. We've been hearing the stories from all across the world, but we have our own hard data on this as well to see what that effect is and what that impact is. And some of our neighboring islands have been doing similar studies as well. So it's like right now is a key time for us to really focus on how we can change this narrative and change the direction of how we manage the soil, how we manage the land, and how we grow our food in Barbados, across the Caribbean and beyond. We want to be able to um, provide for us, provide for our households, and provide for our communities. Another question we have here: would a person who does not have acreage or access to soil be disqualified from the program? No, you would not. No, you would not. If you don't have any acreage to farm on, or you don't have access to farmland, um, you would not be disqualified. You are actually encouraged to apply still. Um, Part and parcel, we would be working with some other support agencies along the life of the program to be able to get persons who need access to land, soil, the support that's needed. And this is why having that collective uh, of participants, having all of the persons who are going to sign up and support is so important, because then we would be able to attract the resources and the support that's needed for persons to be able to actually grow regeneratively. But as small a space as you have, is even if you have just a few pots to grow in right now, we recommend that you sign up, because you're still going to be able to understand the principles of what is going to be taught in the program. And when you come to the farm spirit workshop, once you're able to attend that as well, you would be able to get hands-on experience in the field and some guidance from a very experienced farmer. So yeah, don't let the issue of not having any acreage of land deter you from signing up. You're still free to register for the initiative. So any other questions, any final questions before we go? Feel free to type in the chat now. Remember, reddiamondcompost.com/the journey. Sign up for Journey to 1,000 Acres initiative. Send it to a friend that you know that may be interested. And again, old, young, however you may see it, feel free to encourage persons to sign up and be part of this transformative journey. True. All right. I want to thank you again for your support, for attending this info session for the Journey 1,000 Acres initiative. Thank you all for registering for the initiative. Thank you all for sharing it to someone who needs to register. And we are going to be seeing you soon with some more updates on the activities and everything that we have going on here at Red Diamond Compost, along with the ECT Happily Farm. Thank you all for your continued support, and have a blessed evening.